Today I'm going to cover the last part of adding and subtracting mixed numbers, which is adding and subtracting mixed numbers with regrouping and adding and subtracting mixed numbers that also involve whole numbers. So just as a recap, I want to focus on regrouping one more time. Here I see from the picture that I have 4 holes and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3 out of 5 parts filled in. If I want to regroup, all I have to do is borrow one of these holes and add it to the part. So that's 5/5 added to the part 3/5, which makes 8/5. However, there are no longer 4 holes, there are 3. Let me write it this way. There are 3, and then I added 5/5 to the 3/5 part, which left me with 8/5. The shortcut just would have been just to add 5 to the top and keep the denominator of 5. Okay, so with that being said, we should not have a problem regrouping with mixed numbers. Let me get this out of the way. All right, so what you're going to do is just write these down on note paper and copy whatever I write down, okay? So write the first problem down, 2 3/4 minus 4 1/3. And remember yesterday I told you all it's important to make sure you stack the numbers and mixed numbers when you subtract. And I'm going to show you why today. I'm going to go ahead and find a common multiple. So a common multiple of 4 and 3 is 12. And you could have used 36, but I'm going to use 12. So I need to multiply 4 and 3, the numerator and denominator, by 3. That will give me 12. And here I'm going to multiply both by 4. And if you're not sure what the common multiple is, that's fine. Take your 2 denominators and put them in a T-chart and list multiples of each until you find a common one. And there you go. And so 4 times 3 gives me 12. So 3 times 3 is 9. So I'm going to end up with 2 and 9/12 minus 4 and 4/12. Or 4 and 4/12. Okay, so now I have like denominators. So I can go ahead and subtract these two in this case, because 2 and 9/12 moves to the right on the number line, and negative 4 and 4/12 moves to the left on the number line. And according to SAD, same direction add, different direction subtract, we would subtract the 2. Okay, again, I said if you're subtracting, put the larger group on top. Whether that larger group is the fraction or mixed number to the left, or the larger group is the fraction or mixed number to the right. Well, I can see that it's more to the left than it is to the right. It's 2 and some units to the right, but it's 4 and some units to the left. So my larger group is the group to the left. So I'm going to put it on top, and I'm going to subtract. Now, if you're really paying attention, you'll understand why I want you to stack these. So most students will write 2 and 5/9. 2 and 5/12. That's absolutely wrong. Yes, 4 minus 2 is 2, but you cannot start off with 4 and take away 9. Let me see somebody do that. Okay? That's impossible. So this is what you're going to do. You always make sure that when you are adding and subtracting mixed numbers, key thing though, subtracting mixed numbers. When you are subtracting mixed numbers, make sure you always subtract the numerators first before you subtract the whole numbers. Because sometimes you can subtract those numerators and sometimes you can't. And if you can't, your whole number is going to change. See, this whole number right here needs to change because I don't have enough. I can't start off with 4 and take away 9. So what I'm going to do is regroup this. So I'm going to borrow from the 4. It becomes a 3. I'm going to take one whole group. But if I take one whole group, that whole group was in terms of 12. So you can see the denominator here is 12. So I'm going to come back and add 12 twelfths, that whole. So no longer do I have 4 twelfths. I'm going to add the 12 twelfths to it, making 16 twelfths. Okay, now I get to subtract 2 and 9 twelfths. And we'll see how that goes. Again, I borrowed 1 from the 4 and made it a 3. And that 1 I borrowed was in terms of 12s. I knew that because the denominator was 12. So that means I had 12 slices of pizza in my 12 slices in my pizza. So I add 12 twelfths, make a whole, add 12 twelfths to the 4 twelfths, making 16 twelfths. Now I can start off with 16 and take away 9, that's 7. And 3 minus 2 is 1. Let me fix something because I don't like the way that looks. So I have 1 and 7 twelfths. Now I just have to establish if it's positive or negative. Well, I circled that it was more to the left, so it's going to be negative. And that's what you do. This is why I asked you to stack them when you subtract. So you can actually see if you can subtract your numerators first. Please don't try to subtract your whole number pieces first, because you may not be able to subtract the numerators and you may need to regroup. Okay, let's take a look at that second one at the top. So again, my common multiple is 12, so I'm going to multiply this by 4. And numerator also by 4. So that's going to give me negative 2 and 4 twelfths minus negative, okay, let's see what we get. Multiply each by 3. So I have a common denominator of 12 minus negative 4 and 9 twelfths. So this goes to the left. This goes to the right because it's the same as a plus. And according to SAD, same direction add, different direction subtract, I'm going to subtract. Again, please stack them when you subtract. So I'm going to put the larger group on top. It's 4 in some units to the right and 2 in some units to the left. It's more to the right than it is to the left. So put that on top when you subtract. Okay, in this particular case, I can start off with 9 and take away 4. There's no need to borrow. And 4 minus 2 is 2. And we circled that it was more to the right, so we know it's positive 2 and 5 twelfths. No need to borrow on that one. Okay, let me see if I can slide this up so we can work on the last two. All right, not allowing me to slide. I just want to figure something out. Hold on, guys. I'm going to erase this. And if you didn't get it, make sure you rewind the video and make sure you write these down, okay? Let me see if I can move this part up. Okay, that works. All right, and I just took you back to a regular fraction here, but we'll do that last. Let's look at this one. Again, the common multiple was 12. Well, that's the same as the other one, so we're not going to look. Oh, that's minus. No, it's exactly the same as this one. So let's see if we can go ahead and cross it out. Not going to worry about that. And let's look at this one just to make sure we're okay with fractions. As a matter of fact, I'm going to change this up a bit. Let's put negative 1 and 3/5 minus 2 and 1/6. We'll do that. So we're still dealing with mixed numbers, okay? So write that down instead of that fraction. And so looking at the common multiple, if you don't know it's 30, then just list 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, and so forth. Here, 6, 12, 18, 24, and 30. So I'm going to multiply each 5 by 6 to get 30. So multiply 3 by 6. That gives me negative 1. And 18 over 30 minus, to get 30 here, you're going to multiply 6 by 5, which means I multiply the numerator by 5. So that's going to be minus 2 and 5 over 30. But if you look at these, they're going to both go to the left. You don't have to worry about whether or not you're going to regroup on this one. There's no need to regroup or borrow when it's addition. You have to add when they go in the same direction. So you just add both of them, and you don't have to worry about stacking them. Only stack them when you have to subtract. So that's going to give us negative 3. Why negative 3? Because they're both on the left side of 0. And 23 30ths. Don't ever try to borrow on addition, guys. All right, pause the video and you try these, okay? All right, this is what you should have gotten. I'm going to write this a little bigger. Here, your common multiple is 20. So you're going to multiply 5 by 4 to get 20, which means you multiply 3 by 4. So that's 11 and 12 20ths. Here you're going to multiply 4 by 5 to get 20, which means you multiply 1 by 5. So you're going to end up with negative 3 and 5 20ths. Establishing the direction, I know that this goes to the right, and plus or negative goes to the left. According to SADS, they go in different directions, so we need to subtract. And I've told you all to make sure you stack them when you subtract. So I have 11 and 12 20ths. It's more to the right than it is to the left. That goes on top. Minus 3 and 5 20ths. There's absolutely no need to regroup because you can start off with 12 and take away 5. It gives you 7. And 11 minus 3 is 8. So we know the answer here is 8 and 7 20ths, and it's positive because it's more to the right. That's what you should have gotten for the first one. Now let's look at the one on the other side at the top. Make sure you pause the video and you're taking notes, guys, if you mess something up. Okay, here your common multiple was 18. That's the smallest one. So I'm going to multiply 9 times 2 to get 18, which means I multiply 5 times 2. That becomes 2 and 10 18ths. And then multiply by 3 here. It gives me negative 7 and 3 18ths. Now, this is 2 and some units to the right. And this is 7 and some units to the left. So what I'm going to do is make sure that I subtract those two. It's more to the left than it is to the right, so I'm going to stack it on top. Let me do it over here because I need a little more room. Make sure you're trying to subtract your numerators first. I cannot start off with 3 and take away 10. I am going to regroup. I'm going to borrow a whole from the 7, making it a 6. And the denominator tells me that it's in terms of 18ths. So I know it's 18 pieces in each whole. So I'm going to add 18 18ths. So 3 18ths plus 18 18ths makes 21 18ths. Then I can subtract 2 and 10 18ths. 21 minus 10 is 11. And 6 minus 2 is 4. And it's more to the left. So we end up with negative 4 and 11 18ths as an answer, a final answer. All right, so that's regrouping with mixed numbers, guys. Let's take a look at mixed numbers and whole numbers, okay? This is really easy. Some teachers will have you put 6 over 1. So I'm not going to have you do that. I'm going to make you still find a common denominator as we would with any addition and subtraction of fractions or mixed numbers. So the denominator here is 4. You don't have to do a T-chart. You just need to realize that you don't have any 4s. There you go. There's your common denominator. So you have 6 and no 4s, or 6 and 0 4s, minus 10 and 1/4. And then this goes to the right. This goes to the left. It's more to the left. I'm going to subtract these. They go in different directions. Since it's more to the left, put 10 and 1/4 on top, minus 6 and 0 4s. And I can start off with 1 and take away nothing. It leaves me with a 4th. And 10 minus 6 is 4. And of course, we said it was more to the left. So this answer is negative 4 and 1/4, guys. Now, some of you are going to assume no matter what the problem is that you're always just going to subtract the two mixed numbers and then write down the fractional piece when you have a whole number involved. That's not always the case. And I think the next answer should show you, problem should show you that. Let me find one that does. Okay, let's look at this one. All right. So your common denominator is 3. So just go ahead and put a whole number of 7 and no thirds. You don't have any thirds. So put a whole number of 7 and then 0 thirds, minus 5 and 2 thirds. Okay, that goes to the right. That goes to the left. Or, guys, it's just regular subtraction. It's a positive mixed number minus a positive mixed number. Another positive mixed number. Okay, so that's regular elementary subtraction, guys. But if you can't recognize that, they go in different directions. Your larger group is the group that goes to the right because you have 7 wholes, and here you only have 5. Or you can say it's more to the right than it is to the left. So I'm going to stack that one on top. And again, here's why I'm saying you don't always put the 2 thirds. Most of you will put 2 and 2 thirds. That would be wrong if you did that. Let me finish writing this out. That's wrong, guys. Here you can't start off with no thirds, 0 thirds. You can't start off with 0 thirds and take away 2. Impossible. So you're going to regroup. So this becomes 6. Sorry, guys. So 7 will become a 6. And then I'm going to, that whole that I borrowed is in terms of thirds. I'm going to add 3 thirds to that. 0 thirds plus the 3 thirds is just 6 and 3 thirds. And 6 and 3 thirds does make 7. Then you're going to subtract 5 and 2 thirds. So your answer for this one should be 1 and 1/3. And it's more to the right, so it's a positive 1 and 1/3, guys. So make sure when you have a whole number and a mixed number that you also put a fractional part for the whole number, but that fractional part will be 0 of how many parts it is. Like if you have a mixed number that's in parts of 5, it'll be 0/5 for the whole number. Or if you have a mixed number that it's in parts of 10, then make sure you have 0/10 on the whole number. And make sure you stack them because you may or you may not be able to subtract them the way they're set up. Now, the numerator may be big enough or it may not. All right, let me erase that and let's go back to another one. So again, sometimes you have to regroup when you have a mixed number and whole number. Sometimes you don't. So just always put the 0, whatever part it is, attached to that whole number, okay? So let's take a look at this one. It's in terms of fifths, so my common denominator is 5. It's just this whole number doesn't have a fractional part. So I'll just put minus 4 and 0/5. You don't have anything. But both of these go to the left. So according to SADS, if they go in the same direction, I'm going to add. So when you add, you don't worry about stacking. You just add them. It's negative 7 and 2/5. Easy. Don't ever think about regrouping on addition or borrowing on addition, guys. We don't do that. Okay. You try these. And that's the last bit of it, guys. All right, this is what you should have gotten for the first one on the top left. You should write 5 and no thirds minus 7 and 2/3. This goes to the right. This goes to the left. Of course, I'm going to subtract because they go in different directions. I'm going to stack them with the larger group on top. It's more to the left. So I'm going to stack them this way. I can start off with 2 and take away 0, so I get 2/3. 7 minus 5 is 2. And because I circled that it was more to the left, it's negative. That is your answer. Okay, let's take a look at the second one. You have negative 3 and 1/5 minus negative 5, and you don't have any fifths, 0/5. This is to the left, and because this is minus a negative, it's the same as adding, excuse me, a plus, and it's to the right. And because they go in different directions, you're going to subtract. You're going to put the larger group on top. It's more to the right than it is to the left. It's 5 units to the right and only 3 and some other little piece to the left. 3 whole units and some other little piece. So I'm going to stack them with the larger group on top. 5 and no fifths minus 3 and a fifth. Well, I cannot start off with 0 and take away 5. Can't do it. So what I'm going to do is regroup. So I'm going to take 1 from 5 and make it a 4. And that 1 that I borrowed was in terms of fifths. So I add 5/5. 0/5 plus 5/5 is simply 5/5. Minus 3 and 1/5. Let me write this a little better. I don't like it looking like that. So here 5 minus 1 is 4. That's 4/5. And 4 minus 3 is 1. So it's 1 and 4/5, and it's more to the right than it is to the left, so it's positive as well. Okay, let's take a look at the last one. I'm going to erase some of this, guys, so I can have room. Okay. So here this goes to the left. This goes to the left, but this doesn't have any. It doesn't have any eighths, a fraction apart. So I'm going to put negative 18 and 0/8. I'll be honest, it's really not necessary to put it on this one because you're going to add. There's no reason to regroup. So if you don't put the 0/8 on that, that's fine. You're just going to end up with negative 21 and 7/8. It's my pen, guys. It's not writing correctly. It's not me. Negative 21 and 7/8. Since you're adding, and they're all to the left. That's why the answer is negative. It's all on the left side of 0. All right, so what you're going to do is go back to your classwork tab at this point, and you're going to work on the 9 problems for homework for me. And we'll check those out first thing tomorrow as well, okay? Thank you.